okay? So, what does a landscape need to be considered a landscape? It needs to be of what, Tucker?
It has to have land.
Yes. So, city buildings or not?
Not.
If they're on the horizon, I'll do it.
So it needs to be of nature. Hold that thought for a sec, okay? So a landscape needs to be of land or nature. Can it have man-made things in it, like say a boat on the water or a shack in the distance, and still be a landscape? Yes, but if it's of city buildings, it's a what? A cityscape. So you need to look for something of nature, and a landscape also needs to have what? Roland, what did you just say?
Stuff in distance.
No, you said the key word in there. What does a landscape need to have? It has sky and land, and there's a what?
Horizon.
There's a horizon line, right? So if I stand on a stool and I take a picture of a leaf on the ground, is that a landscape?
No.
No, it's nature, but it's not a landscape. If I lay on the ground and I take a picture of the sky with clouds in it, is that a landscape?
No.
Okay, so let's make sure that we find a picture with nature and a picture with a horizon line, okay? You must also have a focal point, otherwise known as a center of interest on your project, right? So we talked a lot about a focal point with our last project, correct?
Yep.
So is there anybody in here who does not understand what a focal point is? Raise your hand. Nobody likes a smart aleck. That's why I don't have any friends. Okay, so nature, horizon line, focal point. Got it? So you're going to pick 3 of those. Okay, so here's one I picked. Here's the second one I picked. Notice how one of them was horizontal and one of them was vertical, so do I care which way it goes?
Yes.
No. It can be horizontal or vertical. Most of you will probably have what?
Vertical.
Horizontal, right?
Yeah.
And then I picked this one as well, okay? Then I drew each of them as a thumbnail sketch. Now, what is a thumbnail sketch? Yeah, there you go.
Something that like draws you in. That's what I learned too.
A thumbnail sketch is something that draws you in.
Oh.
Yeah, draws you in.
Maybe it's
You're but kind of in the same line. Thumbnail is something that's small, right? The thumbnail's small, so it's quick and small. So they do something tiny to draw you in. That's what they mean. For you guys, it means you're doing a small, quick sketch. You do not have to add value. So are we adding value to our thumbnail sketch?
No.
Are we making them big?
No.
In fact, my suggestion to you is to use one of these from the board where it says trace for a thumbnail sketch. They'll be clipped to the board. So you just lay it down and trace it, and then you'll know exactly what size to make your thumbnail sketch. Does that make sense? Okay. So I did all 3 of those pictures, and then I picked my best one. So how this would work is you're all done, and you walk up to my desk because it's your turn. Here you are walking to my desk with your 3 thumbnail sketches on a piece of paper, right? And your 3 images all in a row on your Chromebook. All in a row, saved. How much time do you think I have to sit and watch you scramble through your interwebs in your Chromebook to find it?
0 seconds.
That's right. So, save them as you go. If you're like, I'm going to draw this one, what should you do?
Save it.
And then you go, I'm going to draw this one. What should you do? Save it where? In the same place. So I don't care how you do it. I think some people put them as screensavers. Some people screenshot it. Some people put it in Google or something. I don't know exactly how your Chromebooks work. But save them all 3 together. Yes, Patrick?
What if you have a picture on your phone that you already have?
Email it to yourself, and then you can open it on your... Yeah, you're smart. I like that about you. Okay, so I drew my 3 thumbnail sketches, and then I picked my best one. We'll pick your best one together. Most of the time we're going to probably pick the same one. I do not want to help you on all 3 thumbnail sketches. I just want to help you on your one best one. Then I turned it into a black and white value, okay? So I would then take it and draw my final on a piece of paper using pencil. Okay, so notice how it's only outlines, right? I just focused on the big shapes and the contour lines, and I didn't add any value. Can everybody see this? Okay, then I took it and I laid it on top of a piece of Scratchboard, and I took an ink pen, which I have in my desk, and I traced it really hard. Now, this isn't carbon copy material, so it won't be like a checkbook, but if you press hard enough, it'll do what to the Scratchboard? What will it do? It will dent it in, so those will be your guidelines, okay? Then you take this off, and I'll get some scratch tools out, and you're gonna scratch the values, okay? So, if it's light, I scratched it all the way out. If it's dark, I left it alone. If it was somewhere in between, I scratched somewhere in between. I also tried to match the textures. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about how to scratch when we get to that point, because that's a lot of information for you to remember all at once. But this is gonna be your practice one, okay? So you're gonna create a black square, a white square, and 3 values in between, and then I give you a section where you can practice. You don't have to do anything there until you need to practice. Does that make sense? Okay, so at least to get you started, how many landscapes are you gonna look for?
3.
How many are you gonna draw?
3.
Do you need to add value to your drawings?
No.
I'm asking everyone these questions, not just the kids that are answering, while you do whatever you want in the back, right? Okay, so we're not adding value, we're just making the contour lines, and contour lines are what? Does anybody know? Yes.
The general shape.
Yes, the outlines, the general shape, okay? Paper is back there on the top shelf, and I'll get the rest of the stuff out. Let's finish Clay by the end of class today, please. And